Do violent video games lead to aggressive behavior in children? Hello. Today, we're going to have a chat about a very hot topic in households with young kids. Do violent video games lead to aggressive behavior in children? This is a question many parents are grappling with. Does playing violent video games really affect a child's behavior? We'll take a look at some research, expert opinions, and ways to help kids play games in a healthy manner. Research on the link between video games and aggressive behavior in children. One thing is certain, research on the impact of violent video games on children's behavior does not always yield clear-cut results. Some studies show that violent games can lead to more aggressive behavior in kids, while others suggest the opposite. For example, a 2007 study by Swinburne University of Technology found that while some children became more aggressive, most showed no significant change in their levels of anger after playing violent games. On the other hand, a 2010 study published by the American Psychological Association found that violent video games could increase aggression in certain children, particularly those with particular personality traits. These kids, who are more easily triggered or lack empathy, tend to become more aggressive after playing violent games. A 2011 study in the Media Psychology Journal did not find evidence that violent games caused increased aggression. Instead, the study showed that kids who already had aggressive tendencies were more likely to choose violent games. Not because those games made them violent, but because they were drawn to them. Even more interesting, the European Economic Research Centre in 2011 pointed out that while violent video games might encourage aggressive behavior, they can also reduce crime rates. The researchers argue that kids who spend more time playing video games have less time to engage in antisocial activities in real life. The American Psychological Association's APA view. In 2015, the American Psychological Association, APA, acknowledged a connection between violent video games and aggressive behavior. Their findings, based on research conducted from 2005 to 2013, suggested that violent games can reduce empathy and lead to less positive social behaviors. However, the APA also noted that there wasn't enough evidence to establish a link between violent games and criminal behavior. The American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, report on virtual violence. However, not everyone believes violent video games are inherently harmful. In a statement in 2016, the American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, admitted that it's nearly impossible to completely shield children from virtual violence in media. What is important is that parents take an active role in managing and guiding their children's exposure to such content. The AAP warned that without proper supervision, children could become more aggressive, or even fearful, as a result of violent media. They recommend that parents avoid letting children under 6 be exposed to any form of violence, as young kids are not yet able to distinguish between reality and fantasy. For older children, the AAP advises parents to closely monitor all violent media, whether it's on TV, online, or in video games, setting healthy boundaries. To help children grow up in a healthy environment while gaming, parents need to set reasonable limits. If a child begins to show aggressive behavior after playing games, parents should reduce the child's exposure to violent content. But even if there are no obvious signs of aggression, it's still important to keep an eye on the types of games the child is playing. Overexposure to violence can make a child more sensitive to aggressive behaviors. Here are a few tips for parents to set healthy boundaries when it comes to video games. Monitor the games your child is playing. Parents should regularly check which games their child is playing, especially online games. Make sure the games are age-appropriate and do not contain violent content. Pay attention to game ratings. Avoid letting your child play games with excessive violence or graphic content that are not suitable for their age group. Play together with your child. One great way to understand what games your child is playing is to join in the fun. This allows parents to better supervise and also engage in conversations with their child about any unhealthy messages a game may convey. It also gives parents a chance to be good role models for their kids. Limit screen time. Spending too much time in front of a screen can have serious consequences for a child's physical and mental health. It's important to set reasonable limits on how much time kids can spend playing games each day. Encourage breaks from electronic devices. Occasionally helping your child disconnect from all digital devices is important. Whether it's a screen-free weekend or a week without technology every few months. Taking breaks from tech can improve behavior and mental health. So there you have it. We've explored the research, expert opinions, and ways parents can help ensure that their children play video games in a healthy and balanced way. Games can have positive aspects, but what matters most is how parents guide and supervise their children in this process.